What's good, YouTube? Is your boy Blue Blood Sports TV back at y'all with another one. So, I wanted to discuss something that's not being discussed and not getting enough attention and enough respect, in my opinion. And that's regarding the highly anticipated, most anticipated fight in 40 years. The undefeated, undisputed welterweight showdown between undefeated, unified three-belt WBA, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer who is widely considered by many to be top two, if not number one, definitely top five, pound for pound, best fighters in the world, in Earl the Truth Spence Jr. Earl Spence Jr. is 28 wins, no losses, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach, 5'9.5" actually. And the man we're going to discuss right now, currently, an undefeated three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO, World Boxing Organization, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be the number one best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Crawford has a record of 39 wins, no losses, no draw, 30 big wins by way of knockout. He is 35 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. With that said, this makes up for the biggest fight in 40 years since September 16th, 1981, when Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas the Hitman Hearns, two legends, two icons, two Hall of Famers, two superstars, took on one another in an undisputed bout where there was only two major sanction belts in creation, which was the WBA, World Boxing Association, President Gilberto Mendoza, and currently today is Gilberto Mendoza, and the World Boxing Council, better known as the WBC, and President today, Mauricio Suleiman. But those were the only two belts in rotation at that time. And since then, we've had big fights like Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. That was the most lucrative, the most anticipated, the biggest fight in boxing history. But as far as competition, Manny Pacquiao was built up as the man to beat Floyd Mayweather. He had already had multiple losses. He had already been knocked out 3 times, brutally knocked out, and badly outboxed by Eric Morales, another Hall of Famer, and Manny Pacquiao. But he was built up as the man to finally dethrone and put a blemish on Floyd Mayweather's record and resume, and he came up short. And the fight itself didn't live up to the billing, because people expected Manny Pacquiao blitzing, tornado style, southpaw, fast hands, fast feet, power, to give Floyd Mayweather more problems than expected, than he actually did. I knew that wasn't going to be the case. Then you had other big fights, Tito Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya, even Marvin Hagler versus Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler, Duran versus Tommy Hearns, Duran versus Marvin Hagler, Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield. You have plenty of big fights in between that. But this is the granddaddy of them all, as far as competition-wise. And so with that said, one thing that's being overlooked is that Terence Bud Crawford power is drastically being underrated. Now, we know Errol Spence is considered the bone collector, the eye collector, the body snatcher. He goes to the body relentless, extremely high work rate, fundamentally sound, southpaw, doesn't make many mistakes, very durable. And in all his bouts, all his belts, he took them from world champions. He went to the UK, May of 2017, took Special K Kell Brook's belt from Kell Brook in the UK, okay, for his first title opportunity. And then he unified and took two-time welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, now retired future Hall of Famer, Showtime Sean Porter belt, September of 2019. Then he took Yordenis Ugas WBA title, April 16th, 2022, Arlington, Texas. So all his belts he gained from beating the actual champions in unification bouts. And in the first bout, he took Kell Brook's belt from Kell Brook in the UK in hostile environment. And when he fought Lamont Peterson, he broke his eye. When he fought Danny Garcia, he broke his eye. When he fought Yordenis Ugas, he broke his ribs, nose, and orbital bone. When he fought Kell Brook, he broke his eye. When he fought Chris Algieri, he broke his eye. So we know Errol Spence does much damage, and Errol Spence is the naturally bigger guy. But what's getting overlooked here is that since Terence Crawford has become a world champion in 2014, when he went to hostile environment and beat Ricky Burns, smaller weight classes, nice high-level opposition. Now, Ricky Burns is not the fighter that Kell Brook is, but they both went into hostile environment, and Terence Crawford is fighting in lower weight classes. But since that fight, he beat Ricky Burns, he went the distance. That was 2014. He fought Ray Beltran. He went the distance with Ray Beltran. And when he fought against Victor Postol in a unification bout, he went the distance. But he dropped Victor Postol twice. So since 2014, becoming a world champion, Terence Crawford has only went the distance a total of 3 times in his career. And one of those fights, he got 2 knockdowns in. And the other, Ray Beltran, he hurt him badly multiple times. But why does his power get overlooked? Why is he not viewed in the same light as guys like undefeated, 5-time 3-division world champion superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis, who has 29 wins, no loss, no draw, 27 big wins by way of knockout? Why is he not considered in the same light when they talk about heavy hitters and power punchers like 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who is currently the undisputed super middleweight world champion and currently viewed as the face of the sport of boxing along with Gervonta Tank Davis and Saul Canelo Alvarez, who has Canelo Alvarez has 59 wins, 59 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. They are all viewed as power punchers and the face of the sport of boxing. Yet Terence Crawford is viewed as the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He has 39 fights and 30 knockouts. He's only went the distance 9 times. And he's only went the distance 3 times since becoming a world champion. So 6 times he went the distance before he was a world champion. And only 3 times he went the distance since becoming a world champion. Yet, he's viewed as the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. But his power somehow gets overlooked. Is it the lack of opponents? Because many people view Gervonta Tank Davis' resume and they say, well, the opponents on Gervonta Tank Davis' resume are not world beaters. They're not the best fighters in the world. But nobody discredits Gervonta Tank Davis' resume and say that he's not a power puncher. He's not viewed as not being a power puncher. Now, I will agree, Gervonta Tank Davis had some brutal knockouts, like the one he knocked out with Leo Santa Cruz. But then he had some normal knockouts. But he's still viewed as a mega power puncher. Canelo Alvarez, he brutally knocked out Amir Khan. But that was a much smaller guy. He brutally knocked out James Kirkland. But he was seen to be washed up. So, Canelo Alvarez, he broke the eye bone of Billy Joe Saunders. But he was inactive and a smaller fighter as well. But nobody gives Terence Crawford the same amount of credit they give these fighters. Now you have the la creme de la creme when you have heavyweight, bronze medalist, former WBC, 10-time defended world champion, superstar American boxer, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, who has knocked down and knocked out every opponent he's ever faced. So he's in a whole different class. But why don't we look at Terence Crawford as a power puncher? We know how versatile he is. We know he switches from southpaw to orthodox. We know he has an extremely high ring IQ. We know that he can box you from the outside. But why don't we look at his boxing power? Why do we always look at his skill set? And it's the same with Gervonta Tank Davis, because we overlook Gervonta Tank Davis' ability to box. Everybody looks at Gervonta Tank Davis as a knockout artist, but they overlook his ring IQ, his ability to box. Why is that? And then when we look at Canelo Alvarez, he's viewed as an overall complete fighter. Durable, quick hands, combinations, ring IQ, and knockout power. But why don't we look at Terence Crawford and say, well, this guy's a knockout artist? Again, he's only went the distance 6 times before becoming a world champion. And when he stepped up in level of opposition, he only went the distance 3 times. This is something that we have to pay very close attention to as he's taking on Errol Spence. Now, most people don't view him as being able to knock out Errol Spence because simply, well, Errol Spence is the naturally bigger guy, very durable. But we have seen Errol Spence hurt against Emmanuel Latte. We have seen Errol Spence buzzed against Sean Porter. But he's very durable. He recovers extremely quickly. He's fundamentally sound. And he don't let himself get put in that position too many times. It happened one time in the fight. It doesn't normally happen again. He doesn't repeat it. But I think Terence Crawford's power is something we need to look out for. So let's see how this plays out and unfolds moving forward. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.